What struck me about this one when I first came to the Hascoe residence was I saw this fantastic property, and not only the grounds, but the house and then the collection. I knew instantly that I was in a real collector's collection.
One of the things that I really enjoyed about the Hascoes was very much how they lived with their paintings. I would say that Norman and Suzanne Hascoe were very much classic American collectors of old masters.
What I love about Norman and Suzanne is that they had a passion and a love for history, for craftsmanship, and for beautiful design.
They didn't buy just a house in Greenwich. It is the best house. It is fantastic views. The grounds are breathtaking, and this one knocked me out. It was so breathtaking.
Well, when you first walk in, it's you would notice the 35-foot atrium that was created by Choperino Wharton. Beyond that, you walk right to a semicircular living room, which offers, I think, possibly the most outstanding and amazing views in Greenwich. One of the most amazing features of this home is the natatorium, which is essentially a circular room that they use for celebrations, where they've gathered as many as 160. The room also doubles as an indoor pool at the push of a button. The floor drops, and all of a sudden you're swimming in a pool. In addition, there is the 175-foot suspension bridge. The bridge was installed not too long after the house was built in 1903. John Roebling and Sons were the designers of the Brooklyn Bridge, and they created this replica back in the early 1900s. There's a wing of the house that Mr. Hascoe used for his art collection. It's a series of 3 rooms, beautifully finished, with high ceilings that open up to the water, and Mr. Hascoe used those for part of his collection.
They have a wonderful setting in which to hang their art, both in terms of the physical setting of the house itself, which is very open, and also the light that came in from outside.
Coming into this room is amazing. It's like a treasure trove. You know, you cannot believe your eyes because you're in a beautiful private residence, but it's actually like walking into a museum.
Property from the Hascoe collection is so diverse that it will sell within several categories this spring at Sotheby's.
The Hascoe collection is really very important, and it's created with enthusiasm and with love and passion, and it's always very important in collecting.
The Hascoe property may be a chance in a lifetime. It's one of the most remarkable properties on the waterfront in Greenwich, Connecticut. The house itself is incredible, the way it's designed for entertaining, and the amenities that it contains, everything from the natatorium to the galleries that it offers for anyone who has a collection, the 175-foot suspension bridge. There are very few properties that can offer anything close to this anywhere on the waterfront.
Norman and Suzanne use 4 basic factors to evaluate and look at and judge American furniture. And they're quality, rarity, condition, and provenance. And all of those 4 factors enter into this incredible collection that they formed. One of the earliest purchases that the Hascoes made was an armchair, a Chippendale armchair with carved eagle handholds made in New York in 1770, along with 3 other side chairs that matched. What I love about the Chippendale eagle-carved armchair and the 3 matching side chairs is the carving and the proportion and the design of the chairs. Gorgeous Clonwall feet, classic New York, acanthus carved knees, and the splat is carved with a central tassel flanked by sea scrolls and acanthus carving. Just a gorgeous execution, and it's the pinnacle of Rococo design and carving in New York at that time, circa 1770. And it became the nucleus of the largest collection of tassel-back New York chairs ever formed in the world. 2 of the greatest pieces in the Hascoe collection are the matching companion highboy and lowboy. The Colonel Guy Walker Queen Anne mahogany bonnet top highboy and its companion mahogany dressing table are masterpieces of New England Queen Anne design. The Bonnetop Highboy, it has these beautiful cabriole legs, gorgeous perfect S-shaped curves. The graduated drawers centering in a beautifully carved fan, which is echoed on the upper case, draws our eye upward to this beautiful bonnet. And original finials. The finials are absolutely amazing with twisted flame tops. They're an absolute fantasy of the craftsman who created them. Original brasses, beautiful finish. It's incredibly rare to find a Queen Anne high chest of drawers like this with its original companion dressing table. Usually pieces are separated over the years, and there are very few that are en suite and still together. Truly, two of the masterpieces in the collection are the two John Goddard chairs. John Goddard was a master craftsman, and the claw and ball feet are just like a real bird clutching the ball. You can see the tension as it grips the ball, and the carving is luxurious and gorgeous. Quaker carving, and of course the pierce splat is gorgeous, as well as the carved shell. In my 30 years at Sotheby's, I've never seen a collection of this size. It's just incredible what the Hascoes achieved, and I think it shows a lot about their commitment, their passion, and their excitement for these incredible objects.
When I first visited the Hascoe house, I was really taken aback because you do not expect to see a collection like this.
For me, coming to the United States of America and seeing such a great collection of Czech art is like a miracle. I would never expect such a good collection outside the Czech Republic.
The Hascoe collection is a complete survey, in a way, of Czech modern art at the beginning of the 20th century. You have all the main proponents of Czech Cubism and Czech early 20th century art.
The Good Freund Anxiety is a unique piece. It's an icon of Czech Cubist art. But we can see some expressionist moments in the sculpture. We can see Cubist style and great shape.
Among the highlights in the sale is an amazing work by František Kufka called Movement. It was painted 1913 to 1919. That's really a key period within the oeuvre of the artist. It's when he moved from symbolism to abstract art and tried to explore the links between the visual arts and music. It has really beautiful, vibrant colors, very strong reds and oranges interspersed with green, and it's just a very amazing piece.
The Motorcyclist by Otakar Švec is a unique work. It was created and modeled in 1924. It's an essence of modernity. It celebrates the new age, a new world. It's probably the best work by the artist.
Visually striking is a work depicting a robot by Josef Čapek. He was actually the person who coined the word robot. It shows a figure that he called Phantomas. It's essentially an expression of what has become to humans through the dehumanization of industrialization. So they're becoming a phantom of their former selves. It shows a figure clutching a dagger, expressing a lot of anguish, and it's really reminiscent to me of Edvard Munch's The Scream.
Dream of a Girl by Vincent Smakovsky is a stunning surrealist sculpture. The artist worked in Paris since 1926 until 1930. Then he returned to Czechoslovakia and created his best work, Dream of a Girl. I can say that Dream of a Girl could be included in a good surrealist collection of art.
One of my favorites in the sale is a really amazing painting by František Folting called Imperialism. It shows a robot, and this time it's really the personification of imperialism, but it's also the personification of industrialization, colonizing the world, taking over. So you have this very confident person striding through this port and just taking hold of everything.
I think the auction will do very well, because there will be a high interest for the treasures of the collection.
We at Sotheby's are very excited about the sale coming up, and we think that it's going to have a broad appeal to buyers both from the Czech Republic and internationally, so we're anticipating it to do really well.
What excited the Hascoes as collectors were pictures that said something to them personally, that were pictures that they could live with, that were in great condition, that excellent examples of their type. They focus on two main areas: Dutch 17th century paintings, the golden age of Dutch art, and French 18th century pictures. They were also very careful about things like condition and quality, which is always a wonderful thing when you're working with a collector, to have somebody who's focusing on those sorts of issues. One of the outstanding pictures in the Hascoe collection, in my opinion, is a fantastic painting by Dirk van Dalen of King Solomon receiving the Queen of Sheba. The subject matter is taken from the Old Testament, how the Queen of Sheba comes to the court of King Solomon, having heard of his wisdom and of the magnificence of his palace. In this particular painting, though, the subject is not the two monarchs, but it's very much the courtyard and the palace in which we find ourselves. And it's a tour de force, really, of perspective, of light, of form, all these things which just make this picture really astounding. The Hascoe paintings, which form a very beautiful and very personal group, will be certainly one of the highlights of our January Old Master Painting sale.